Hugo the Happy Clown. In the quiet town of Millbrook, children once laughed at the sight of Hugo the Happy Clown. His painted grin stretched from ear to ear, red as a fresh wound, and his eyes shimmered with something too sharp to be joy. He performed at birthday parties, twisting balloon animals with hands that trembled, though no one knew if it was from excitement or hunger. Parents adored him for his charm, but when the sun dipped and the last cupcake was gone, Hugo would whisper to the kids, "The real party starts after dark." Then, one by one, the children began to vanish. When police finally raided Hugo's home, they found the basement lined with faded clown masks, each one painted differently, each one smiling. Beneath the floorboards were small shoes, deflated balloons, and party hats soaked in something that had long since turned brown. The last mask they found wasn't painted. It was made of flesh, stretched thin and still warm. And from somewhere in the darkness below, a voice giggled, "You can't kill the happy friend. The party never ends." Hugo the Happy Clown, Part 2, The Party Never Ends. The Millbrook police sealed off Hugo's house, but the smell never stopped. Even after they boarded up the windows and burned what they could, that sickly sweet odor of grease paint and rot hung in the air, like something still breathing underneath. Weeks passed. The town tried to forget. Then came the laughter. It started small. Children whispering about hearing balloons squeak under their beds, parents swearing they saw red footprints in the hallway at night. One mother, desperate to prove it was all hysteria, checked her baby monitor. On the screen, through static and darkness, stood a clown. Not in the nursery, but reflected faintly in the mirror. His grin wide, his makeup cracked like dried blood. The next morning, her house was empty. Only a single red balloon bobbed in the living room, tied to a chair. Scrawled across it in shaky black letters were the words, "Thanks for inviting me back." And if you ever drive past Millbrook now, don't stop. Not even for the carnival lights that flicker where the town used to be. Because sometimes, when the wind is just right, you can still hear Hugo laughing, deep, wet, and endless, calling you to join the party. Hugo the Happy Clown, Part 3, The Laughing House. They said the old carnival grounds were cursed. The Ferris wheel never stopped creaking, even without wind, and the air smelled faintly of sugar and decay. Teenagers went there on dares, whispering about Hugo the Happy Clown, the ghost who never left his stage. But that night, 4 friends decided to go inside the main tent. It was silent at first. Then the music began to play, the warped notes of a calliope winding through the dark. A single spotlight flickered on, revealing a dusty stage, and there he stood, Hugo. His costume hung loose, colors faded, but his smile hadn't changed. It stretched too far, too tight, like something trying to remember how to be human. His laugh was hollow, almost mechanical, as he tilted his head and whispered, "Welcome to the act." The friends ran, but the tent shifted around them. Every flap of canvas led to another hallway, another mirror, another reflection of Hugo. Sometimes tall, sometimes crawling, sometimes just a painted grin floating in the dark. One by one, the lights went out. Each time the calliope restarted, one less laugh echoed back. By morning, the carnival was silent again. Only the Ferris wheel moved, turning slowly, endlessly. On one of the seats hung 4 balloons, gently swaying in the breeze. Written on the side of the wheel in dried, faded paint were the words, "Smile big, the show must go on." And if you listen close enough at night, you can still hear it. That thin, trembling laugh under the music, waiting for someone else to buy a ticket. Hugo the Happy Clown, Part 4, The Ones Who Stayed. Millbrook was a ghost town now. Houses sagged like tired lungs, windows boarded shut to keep the laughter out, or maybe to keep it in. Rumor said Hugo's carnival appeared only at night, rising from mist and memory, feeding on those foolish enough to seek it. But Dr. Evelyn Mercer wasn't afraid. She was a criminal psychologist who studied killers. Real ones, not bedtime monsters. Hugo fascinated her more than any case she'd ever touched. A clown who never died. A myth built from bodies and balloons. She had read the files, studied the basement photos, traced the stories that stretched far longer than any man's lifespan. She wasn't there to survive him. She was there to understand him. She entered Millbrook at dusk, recorder humming in her hand, flashlight ready. The moment darkness fell, carnival lights flickered to life on the horizon. swirling reds and sickly yellows, blinking like a giant eye waking from a nightmare. The air tasted like old popcorn and metal. As she approached, she saw children's toys scattered across the carnival grounds. Jump ropes, teddy bears, tiny shoes lined neatly like they were waiting to be claimed. The carousel spun slowly, though no one rode. Faint giggles drifted on the wind, too high-pitched to be joyful. Evelyn whispered into her recorder, "Subject displays controlled environment hallucination or supernatural projection. Possible mass hysteria origin." Then she heard it. A balloon squeaked behind her. "New friend," a voice cooed. "Come to laugh?" She turned. He was there. Hugo, makeup cracked like ancient porcelain, suit hanging off him like rotted wallpaper. But the eyes, those eyes were not human. Something too old and too hungry lived behind them, grinning through painted cheer. "You aren't alive," she managed. Hugo leaned in, breath cold as dirt. "Alive?" He giggled. "No, silly. I'm invited. Every laugh they gave, every scream they hid, they made me." His jaw twitched, stretching wider. "I am the part they never show at the circus, the smile behind the mask." Evelyn backed away, but the ground shifted. The carnival melted into faces. Dozens, hundreds, children and adults, their expressions frozen in silent, permanent laughter. They whispered like wind through teeth. "Stay with us. Smile forever. The show has room?" Evelyn ran, but every step led deeper inside. Each tent flap opened into another nightmare hallway, mirrors reflecting her face stretched into a painted grin she didn't remember making. Her recorder kept running, the tape filling with breathless gasps and far-off carnival music. Finally, her voice broke through, trembling. "Hugo is not a killer. He's a collection of them. The town didn't just have a clown, it had a hunger, and we fed it." Static hissed. Then Hugo's whisper, soft as a balloon deflating. "Everyone laughs eventually." When investigators found her abandoned car weeks later, the only thing inside was a bright red nose and a scrap of paper with a smudged smile drawn on it. Some nights, if you drive past Millbrook, you'll see the lights again. You might even hear the Calliope tune carried on the wind. Just don't follow it. Carnivals leave. Hugo doesn't. And the ones who enter his tent? They don't either. Hugo the Happy Clown, Part 5. Laugh Last. They called themselves the Silence Brigade, 3 survivors from different towns, different years, bound by one shared nightmare. Each had escaped Hugo once. None had escaped him completely. There was Marla, who still woke with balloon string burns on her wrists. Jonah, whose little brother still whispered Hugo's name in his sleep, even though he'd been gone for 20 years. And Detective Harris, who lost his entire precinct to laughter that never stopped. They gathered in the ruins of Millbrook, armed with holy symbols, gasoline, salt, steel, and one thing Hugo had never faced, a refusal to fear him. "Clowns feed on laughter," Jonah murmured as they lit torches. "Nightmares feed on belief. So what happens when no one plays along?" Marla held up Evelyn Mercer's recorder, the last thing found in her car. They pressed play. Carnival music. Static. A giggle that made the air curdle. Then Evelyn's voice, broken but determined. "He is not one monster. He is every fear we give shape. Do not scream. Do not smile. Starve him." The torches ignited the carnival grounds. Tents burst in silent flame. Painted horses melted, lights warped, and the Ferris wheel groaned like a dying animal. And then Hugo stepped from the smoke. His grin was cracked, sagging, like the mask was losing strength. The painted tears beneath his eyes dripped, not makeup but something darker, heavier. "You came back," he whispered. "For another show?" "No," Harris growled. "We came to close it." Hugo twitched. His balloon squealed in his hand like it was alive. "No laughs," he murmured. "No smiles? No fun at all?" His voice trembled, not with rage but with fear. "You can't leave," he said. "The act isn't over. It never ends. The Silence Brigade stared him down, empty-eyed, unresponsive, unafraid. And Hugo's smile faltered. For the first time, he staggered backward, paint cracking like old plaster. The carnival lights sputtered. The laughter whispering through the wind choked into silence. "No," Hugo croaked. "No. Don't stop watching me. That's how it works. You can't forget me. I exist because you." He froze, smile collapsing into a hollow gape as the flames climbed, as the torches closed in, as the survivors turned their backs and walked away. Not laughing, not crying, not looking, just leaving him alone. Behind them, the carnival folded in on itself, colors smearing into ash, balloons shriveling, lights flickering into nothing. His voice stretched thin across reality like a rubber band about to snap. Come back. Please. I was only joking. Then silence. Real silence. For the first time in decades, Millbrook slept without music. But as dawn broke, Marla noticed something in the dirt, a torn scrap of clown fabric. Still warm, still pulsing like a heartbeat. Jonah's breath caught. Horror doesn't die, he whispered. It waits. Harris looked out over the ashes. Then we'll be waiting too. A long pause, a quiet wind, and somewhere impossibly distant yet far too close, a faint giggle. Just one, like a reminder or a promise. The show never ends.